The idea of sort of accessing history with your art is really appealing to me. I think it kind of started with me that way. The whole stone thing started with me that way. A really significant trip I was on to Ireland to dance, and I actually got a little grant from Folk Arts to go there and learn some dances. I was doing a lot of dancing and teaching dance at the time. And that was really fun, but I spent all the extra spare time I had, I spent going to these abbeys, these ruins, you know, and looking at the stone carving. It was amazing. So I'm wandering through the countryside and finding these places and just looking at the stone carving, and I was just completely blown away. They were so endearing, adorable little figures, and these very charming and relatively smaller scale figurative carving, and they're just everywhere. And the range of subjects was amazing. They are just such an inspiration to me. I came back from that trip and I studied with a fella named Eamon Quinn. He taught a class in stone carving, and I took it, and that was it. I just fell completely in love with the material. Limestone is pretty soft, but you can hit it pretty hard, which is good. Your carving, you know, really shows in limestone. You can throw the light any way you want with it. You can really carve it so that it bounces the light around on the inside of a relief. So it's got a lot of resonance as a material. Well, I always loved sculpture, but I just didn't really know what my material was. So that was it. I grew up in Poughkeepsie, New York. But I've been in Rhode Island a long time now. I finished my undergraduate work, and I was trying to kind of find a job, and I wanted to live in Newport, and it was a fun place. There was a lot of good art, good music, all kinds of stuff going on back there, the mid-'70s. You know, it was a good time to be there. So I just sort of started hanging out with these friends who were playing music, and I had the opportunity to learn some dancing, and that led to a whole other kind of chapter, and you know, it's been a real inspiration all along. The kind of dance that I do is called set dancing, and I've also done Ceilidh dancing. Set dancing is done in a four-couple formation like American square dance. Ceilidh dancing is more similar to New England contra dance, where a lot of them are done in a long-way set of dancers, two lines facing each other. Most of these dances have common roots to the American dancing. The radio station is WRIU. It's at 90.3 FM in Kingston, and they had an Irish music program that I used to love to listen to. I was living over in Newport at the time. I guess the guy moved away and nobody was doing the show, and so I said, well, you know, we really need somebody to do this Irish music show. So I started telling my friends to write letters. I said, write some letters and say, we need Irish music back on, you know, one night of the week there. So I just went over there and just started doing the show, 1982. So I've been on there ever since then, 9 p.m. every Wednesday. Both my parents were career educators and are now retired, enjoying themselves. They always kept a creative practice going alongside of their professional lives as educators. I did my undergraduate degree at Rhode Island College in art education. I work at Hope High School in Providence. I think for me, in order to be a good teacher, you know, of art, I think it's really helpful if you're a really good artist, because you have to model that process for all those students. If you are modeling something that's genuine, that comes from, you know, real work, real observation, real thought, real practice, as a teacher, you're going to have a certain set of expectations around the students' work, and I think that everybody really benefits. So this little stone comes from Canada, from the shore of Lake Huron. Well, underneath all the Great Lakes is beautiful limestone. It's stretches all the way from Canada down into Indiana and Illinois, and that's where all that great carving limestone and architectural limestone comes from. It's all the same. Basically, that's one of the main stones that I use in carving is this Indiana limestone. And the stone that I use for carving is basically all salvage building stone. I haven't bought a new piece of limestone and I just can't even tell you. It's tremendously plentiful as salvage because once one of those pieces cracks, they can't use it on a building anymore. So I'm also recycling, you know, so it's kind of a good thing these days too. And then the other thing that I tend to use a lot of, I have a bunch of soapstone. Here's a piece of soapstone. And this is really greasy. It's a totally different kind of material to carve in. It's very enjoyable to carve, and I love to teach children with soapstone because it's so easy. And the other thing that I like to do is slate. I have to say that one of the most important things about all of this and the place that really made all of that possible, it's because AS220. Getting the studio there, which corresponded to my first year of being in that graduate program, was the most tremendously supportive thing that had really ever happened to me. And people are so open to having conversations, so I think that the support that I got there was just really pivotal. And the attitude of acceptance of people from any walk of life, that's an invaluable approach, and we're very fortunate. It really formed my attitude going forward, definitely. There's a community aspect to my work. I don't see my work as a highly individualized, personalized expression. It's an expression of my interests. It's an expression of my involvement with my material, and it's an expression of my understanding of the nature of that material and its connection with a culture that I treasure. It's not my guts on a canvas, you know. It's much more about those little insights and those little connections, the small things in nature that you want to capture, the way that people function in a community, and maybe participating in that 3,000-year trajectory of Celtic art, being maybe somehow part of that. Nothing I do is a copy of anything, but inspired by that trajectory and the things about it that are a little bit different. Maybe continuing forward in the spirit of it. That interests me.